Are you curious about the mystery of the youth, longing to explore the fascinating world of Gen Z? Then join us on The Far Side, a series of podcasts by the English Club of Foreign Trade University. Stay tuned and get ready to dive into the behavior of Generation Z. Without any further ado, let's start.
Good evening, everyone, and good evening, Jason. Welcome back to the Far Side podcast.
Hello, Suri. I'm really happy to be here today. I look forward to what we can bring to our audience this time.
Yeah, me too. You know what? Today is the fourth episode of the Far Side podcast series already.
Oh, so fast. Anyway, let's get started. So, what are we going to talk about today?
Hang on. Why don't we have a look at the three previous episodes? I mean, they have provided us with some impacts of social media on our generation. So, Jason, which one of them impresses you the most?
Well, I have to say the third one, staying updated obsession. Social commerce and Gen Z authenticity in turn are awesome and informative episodes. But the obsession episode is excellent at demonstrating how the flow of online information, in particular, and social media in general, could affect Gen Z.
Yeah, agreed. And in addition, there are other factors in social media affecting Gen Z too. And tonight, we are going to dive into them in the fourth episode of The Far Side. The social media make Gen Z a toxic generation.
Wait, why is the atmosphere suddenly so heavy right now? But as far as I know, Gen Z is supposed to be a very prospective generation.
That's right. There's no doubt that Gen Z, born from 1997 to 2012, also known as digital natives, is the most energetic, competitive, and perhaps the most individualistic generation that is willing to change the world.
Well, it's just an undeniable fact. Gen Zers are now achieving this success proudly, from teenage social influencers to young entrepreneurs.
However, the digital natives have their own problems with their favorite place too.
What do you mean by problems? I have no problems. I'm perfectly fine with surfing Facebook. Besides, LinkedIn and Instagram have also been conducive to my studies, career preparation, entertainment, and news gathering.
Well, regardless of problems, we all know that social media is an awesome thing that we and most of Gen Z have grown up and matured with. But Jason, I can see the dark circles around your eyes. And why do you look so tired?
Yeah, I think it's because I sleep late, you know. Sometimes I watch my idol streaming till like 1 or 2 a.m. Sometimes I'm intrigued by those trendy videos on TikTok.
Well, not really. I think it is indirectly due to social media. The way social media appeals to you by suggesting your favorite content, which is your streamer in this case, makes you unable to sleep. And the result, your dark circles and tiredness.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, and we haven't mentioned depression and anxiety yet. Hope you
Mm.
can take care of your social media usage for your own good.
Oh, wow, right. Roger that.
And speaking about anxiety, a typical criticism towards social media is that, it is assumed to be a place of toxicity, which leads to negative emotions like anxiety. And, there must be reasons behind that, right? So, what's your take, Jason?
Before that, let me ask you this. Have you ever heard of the term emotional dysregulation?
I don't think so. But, I can roughly get what it means. Is it like the term to describe when you can't control your feelings or when your feelings become a mess?
It can be simply explained like that. Some Gen Z suffer from this horrible disease caused by social media or users, including Gen Z, cyberbullying, criticism, abusive language, discriminate content, and all the types of insults and negative actions. You can name it. Could you use to hurt somebody? The worst case would be suicides, because some people just cannot handle those things.
Oh, how horrible. The victims' minds must have been ruined because of users' toxicity before they suffer from emotional dysregulation. Surely there must be a connection between them, right?
Absolutely. Or in other words, some users' behaviors lead to emotional dysregulation.
Right. But Facebook, for example, has users and content, right? And you have just mentioned discriminate content just now. So is there toxic content from your perspective?
Yes, there are. Wait. Mm.
What's wrong?
Certainly, I
Listen.
remember some frustrating memories. Once I saw a guy enjoying a video of a slave being tortured by the landlord somewhere in Africa.
Mm.
He even invited me to see it before I refused it immediately.
Oh my, you must be so terrified at that time. If I were in your shoes, I do not think I can hold myself. Anyway, I can see why it is so popular because some users consider this kind of content enjoyable. And perhaps this kind of stuff is emerging to appeal to these audiences.
Now I just feel lucky that I haven't got exposed to these corruptions of social media yet. Anyway, another fact about Gen Z is that they're obsessed with getting informed on social media. But the thing is, while watching this newsfeed, some Gen Zers wanted to online conflicts on a lot of issues, since they're curious and they tolerate opposing opinions.
Well, sadly, but anytime surfing Facebook, we are likely to witness a discussion between Gen Z and some random people. Some of them are quite normal, yeah, but others could be war of words, and thus attracting more and more people to dispute celebrities, ideologies, even how to use a spoon. Anything could spark off a heated debate for them.
You know what? These wars, this obsession is such a waste of time. But people sometimes just still dive in, especially the young ones, just to the news and to prove themselves in the arguments. I have to emphasize the arguments, the everlasting ones. These are where swears and personal attacks are likely to happen.
Well, actually, sometimes I also waste so much time on events as such. And
Oh,
in these moments, I think that social media has brought me more disturbances than pleasures. But have you noticed that all of our mentioned issues always have Gen Z there? I think we can now conclude that Gen Z is involved in a lot of issues on social media, right? But still, I'm curious. What is the call of all this?
give me a second. The first reason, I suppose, is the fear of missing out.
Are you referring to FOMO?
Yeah,
Well, to be honest, I think I am also fearful of missing interesting trends and events occurring on social networks. But I'm still wondering how exactly FOMO is affecting Gen Z?
see, FOMO can be understood as the fear of being behind the times. Gen Z would try as much as possible to get information, to be modern and be well
Mm.
informed. That's when they can get involved in scorching quarrels on social media.
Oh, okay. I think I get it now. But about the war, the war of words, why are these always happening?
You need to understand, people want to be praised and win arguments, so they tend to dive in and magnify their idealized or overrated talents. You get me, right?
Yeah.
In scientific terms, it is called self idealization.
Yeah, fair enough. And one more thing is that people with different competencies, knowledge depth, and people with demanding and aggressive behaviors, all of them want to prove themselves. The winners will just keep dominating, and the losers, without realizing the true capabilities before, will be beset with shame, with disappointment, and sometimes they will be even mocked just because they lost in the argument.
Yeah, that's like exactly what I want to say. It's just like cut the ground under my feet.
Aren't we best friend, huh?
Yeah.
Well, do you think that sometimes we can be like oversensitive?
Oh, I do. What do you say? Oh, no, no. I used to when I was younger, but and was not mature yet.
Yeah, you see, young people, they are just too sentimental and can't deal with failures and hardships.
Do you mean they even cry after losing?
Yeah, sometimes. Not gonna lie, some Gen Z are just emotionally weak. Hey, it just crossed my mind. What if you are one of them?
Oh gosh, unimaginable. I'll definitely cry a lot.
That's it? Hmm?
Yeah.
Wow, it sounds so cute. Don't cry, little cutie.
All right, that's enough.
Yeah, okay. I'm just trying to state that we may not be mature yet. Sometimes you can be so sensitive that even the smallest mistake could be your, biggest concern of the day. And that is also why some Gen Z get easily irritated when being mocked or blamed on social media.
Okay, I won't cry again. Thank you.
Yeah, I hope so. And all right, back on track. So, after all, what do you think about Gen Z?
As we have discussed, Gen Z is a generation of prospect, opportunities, the influencers of the world. But most of them are still growing, still maturing.
Right. I think social media is an ideal place for their self development, but it is also a perfect environment to disclose toxicity.
Yeah, and some Gen Zers are now vulnerable to this. Social media not just leads to miscommunication and conflicts, emotional problems in the worst scenario. It could ruin the whole development of Gen Z.
But we should also bear in mind that Gen Z is partly the reason for all the conflicts and other toxic content on social media. The toxic argument, the toxic content, yeah, the criticisms are mostly from Gen Z, right? And
Mhm.
what about you? For you, are some of them toxic?
Yes, it is indisputable. The fact that the Gen Z being attacked by another Gen Z is a problem. Like some people think that Gen Z is the most toxic generation on social media. I just cannot understand why Gen Z now wants to be so aggressive, so toxic, making their peers feel depressed, disappointed, and also toxic.
Well, I don't think so. Social media, when not classifying the healthy and appropriate content, is also making controversial topics more and more contentious and thus attract more people, right? The content suggestion is partly making Gen Z, continue to see unapproved toxic stuff. So, anyway, to answer today's question, does social media make Gen Z a toxic generation? I would definitely say yes.
I agree with you. So, what Gen Z should do now is that they should control their emotions better on social media.
Yeah. And in particular, they need to be calm and mindful when confronting insults and criticisms, just to find the most suitable acts, and they should make sure to get away from all the dramas or toxic content on these networks if they can help it.
Mm, yeah. One more thing they should do is that they should also know their true capabilities, the proper variety of their intended behaviors in social networks so they won't succumb to bad consequences.
Yeah. And talking about miscommunication, I have this one question. Just why are they able to take part in these online conflicts? Gen Z? Do you think those conflicts happen due in part to the fact that people just cannot understand each other?
Miscommunication, that sounds really interesting. Maybe we can delve deeper into it in the next episode. Anyway, nice to talk to you about this, Suri. Looking forward to seeing you next time.
Yeah, me too. Bye. Good night.
And that also wraps up today's episode. Thank you for listening. If you still carry wonders about doings, visit our Facebook fan pages, English Club of Foreign Trade University, and Mastermind, English Social Inquiry Contest for future updates, where we hope to see or reflect on the matters. Don't forget that new episodes come out every Monday and Thursday at 8:30 p.m. on our official fan pages, as well as YouTube and MindPod. Once again, thank you for listening and see you next time.